Namaste and good morning, all. I have gotten several requests to do readings on different teachers, and I'm very happy to do those. But what the deal is there is that, reading someone that is in body or has not passed on, a lot of times there may be issues with using their image, which I do in the readings. Being that they're a public figure, it's probably open, but I just hesitate to do that. I really would prefer not to. That's just my feeling. Um, and as far as the ones that have passed on, there's just a lot of controversy around some of the teachers. And just to let you know, this will come out in the reading. There's no way around it. I know people have certain things that they want to hold on to, or how they feel about their teacher. They have a right to that. There's no way that someone could say something is gospel. And it's just with these readings, what is there is going to be revealed, and so you just have to be ready for that. But again, with the pendulum reading and that connection there, it will reveal what is in the heart, what the soul is speaking truly, and that's the truth of it. So anyway, yes, and so also with some of them, there may have been unethical issues within their ashram, um, their sexual improprieties with some, unconventional practices, which means practices that are labeled as a certain thing when really they are, they enter into this gray area of, is this ethical or not? Drugs are there. Just these lines that are crossed, and people calling themselves a swami or something. And, I just want to tell you a little bit about my journey. I have been with, as I said, Guru Swamiji for many years now, 16, 17, you kind of lose track. It's been a while. And within that time, I have taken sannyas 3 times. And it wasn't for me, but my initial ceremony was in Malibu, California. And that one was more very traditional ceremony. We shaved the head. We wore the orange robes, which are symbolizing of burning off the dross. We took vows there. And what happens is there's a duni fire there, or a fire pit where you do throw a lock of your hair in the fire that symbolizes shedding all attachment to form, to mind. That's what that symbolizes. As far as the vows go, they are vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, which are meant to be followed. Now, since this ceremony was delivered to those that were more in Western society and to women, which is wonderful that that was provided by Guru Swamiji. We did not, we can't just go out with a begging bowl or abandon money. I mean, we had to make money, we had to survive, and so it was integrated into that world. You had to pay your mortgage or your rent, and I had a child that I was raising, a young child, 7, 8, that, I wasn't just going to abandon, so certainly it had to be done within those, within that reality, which is harder in some ways because one has to steady their mind within that, do the practices within all those difficulties, all those pressures, all of time constraints and roles that we all play. So it's not easy. Not to say it's easy walking naked through India or being out in the elements barefoot in whatever ways in the of those more traditions, sitting by the Ganges, by the Duni fire. Those are harsh elements, and that is something that is a whole different thing. But this is how it was done here. She integrated it into regular society for people. Very much of a blessing. So that was done. As I said, that the head was shaved, and went back to work. I went and did my worldly things and integrated the practices there. And there was 2 other ceremonies that were a little not quite as traditional. One of them was quite a bit, though. That was actually in California again. And we did the pujas. We did all of it. And then there was another one that was a little bit less traditional in Seattle. This came about because there were others that wanted to take sannyas later down the road, and I participated in those ceremonies as well. So, during this time with Guru Swamiji, she imparted all the knowledge regarding sannyas, what it means, what ethics are, to hold those dear, to be in alignment with those ethics. The other is celibacy, which I was even prior to coming onto the path with Guru. And I'm hoping people can hear me okay. I'm going to try to speak up. That's here. Now, the first name that was given, I did take Diksha prior to the 3 ceremonies of sannyas, a lot of ceremonies. And the name she gave me was Shiva Sundari. Now, Diksha is not quite as much of a cemented commitment. However, it does carry some weight. A new name is given that helps bring about a different energy that one either is to go towards or that already embodies. So this is a nice thing to get a new name. And there's also vows there. There's knowledge that's imparted. There's mantras that are given. So anyway, Shiva Sundari, which was my initial name, which I really loved, is the meaning is the beauty of Shiva in motion. Okay, and then as one goes on to take sannyas, more of the traditional name, usually if it is in the Hindu tradition, Ananda is the last part of the name, which signifies the bliss of. So the initial part, the bliss of, with here it's Siddha. So Siddha, or a siddhi, is like a power or a type of power that comes, such as healing, visions, psychic energies, pendulum work in the psychic realm. And these things come and they're there very strongly for a time. So that's a siddhi, and also more, it means the bliss of fulfillment. The bliss of is, in terms of what, with a siddhi, so the greatest siddhi is the one that transcends all the siddhis of these powers and enters enlightenment. Again, this is the knowledge given by Guru Swamiji. So that is what one, that's here what the name was given by her grace. So this is how we journey forward in our lives. Now, I have talked about here as also the changes that have come about since being on the journey, such as okay, so stilling, which you can see takes place. This full moon is coming. It's already, I'm feeling it, this blood moon. Yes. But there's a slowing of mind, which has happened here, where the thoughts go so slow, they just drag out. For instance, if you're thinking for some reason, I need to go get this, it will be, I need, and then it just fades off. Okay, so that's been happening for a couple years. It's happened before, but it gets stronger and stronger. Gaps between thoughts. And as my eyes are going up and things, this is more like a kriya. Okay, there's kriyas that come along the way, which are involuntary movements. This happens to be one that comes a lot here. Nothing to be alarmed by. It's actually, when that happens, one can feel this energy run up in a stream and come up like that. Okay, so it's actually quite a pleasant feeling. That's the way it is. It happens a lot with people that have kundalini, that's just the way it is, okay? So gaps in thoughts, okay? Great gaps in thoughts. Stilling, where the mind, there's no thoughts. Expansion. Okay. Also, mind will run, and it's more, it can be very distorted. It can be perverted, I guess is the word. Very much loud, very in your face. Okay, this has happened since Kundalini opened very strongly, and it still comes as things revolve. Visions, okay, visions here have come of Mother Mary, of Ramana, of Nityananda the Avadut, of Guru. I have seen my own vision of here, nature visions beyond belief. Okay, so this is just some of what it's just such a long journey. It's such a hard journey. It's such a, one can say, a painful journey of body, mind, and soul. Really, all is bared. All is laid bare. All is burnt in those fires, and come back again to revolve until it's gone and burnt to ash, truly. And this is the Kundalini path. So, whatever is spoken of in terms of, some of the readings here, some of the talks here that have come about my journey, or different things have come through the grace of this journey and of Kundalini and the blessing of Spirit, and that's all that one can say. One knows when like with the pendulum or the writing, different things, that it's not coming through you, it's coming through a force of divinity. Okay, and that's how, and even now, the words come, they're not my words, I guess, in some ways. It's hard to explain, and yet here I will only say truly when the mind is completely stilled, when that death experience has come that blows it all away. It has not come yet to that degree. There's still mental things. There's still, aversions and attachments. Vasanas, which are energetic patterns, those are still there to some degree. Although, if I could go back prior to this path, say in my 20s or 30s, I would go, whoa, a lot has washed away. So, this takes years. One of the books I have of Ramana, this gentleman sat at his feet for 44 years. Okay, I don't even know if he was totally blown out. Okay, this is lifetimes. This is a lifetime thing. This is not a quick thing, because mind has been in place. Who knows how long you've been running on it? Who knows how long you've been on the journey with practices attempting to face yourself. Okay, it's a facing yourself. It's a confronting the ego path. It's not a subduing or pacifying the ego thing at all. Okay, this is the reality of it. It's a hard-hitting, in-your-face, lightning bolt path. Okay, so anyway, I did want to put that out there. Going back to the readings, so I'm not sure what will come there or not. But if you are choosing a guru, please be careful. Please look into their history. If there are anything sexual in there, anything that's drugs and unconventional things where it's more kind of like a free-for-all, where the guru really writes their own rules. The guru, the one that calls themselves a guru, writes their own rules, their own standards, um, leaves people to kind of fend for themselves and to do as they please in a way. Uh, Look at this, people. Look at this, please. This is, in terms of taking the sannyas here and having Swami, really, that's a lord of yourself. A Swami is a lord of yourself. It's one that is, has blown out the mind. I mean, when that happens, one can certainly sometimes be not look normal, possibly, not behave normally, maybe behave kind of crazily, maybe not, maybe be quiet and meek, I don't know, but there's so many ways it's expressed. But in terms of, okay, so it's all the being in alignment with God, or it's not even anything with it would just come. These natural laws would be there. It would not go into something unethical automatically. It would not happen. It just wouldn't. So that's the reality of it. Because when that happens, that's more based on someone that's setting up their own rules and things. That's not there. It's a flow of this one. It wouldn't go into those areas. Okay, so in terms of choosing a guru here, I just never I never really got into the guru thing at all. I didn't really even know about them, to be honest. And this is why I'm so green. I know when people say, well, haven't you done all this reading? I haven't. And it's not necessary. What's been given, what's been needed has been given and is there. And sometimes people heap a lot of reading, layer that in their mind and think they have a lot of knowledge, and that's not it anyway. It's about unlearning anyway, unraveling those knots of intellect. So just be careful in choosing one. Sometimes people may say they're at a certain level of consciousness when indeed they're not, or they're speaking a lot about kundalini when they have never experienced it. Sometimes it's a lovely feeling when one has no idea. So, it comes, and sometimes there's so many that some you may skip over, but that are actually very, very much grounded and there. For sure many that have spoken out strongly as truth personified are not popular, because they're going to hit the ego hard. Okay, the ones that are mostly popular are, more these ones that have these unconventional types of traditions. Overall, I mean, not fully, but this is just something to be aware of. People, please, please, please look into their history. Get a good feeling. Do you feel like your mind is stilling, is calming down? You're more aware. You're letting go more. You're more surrendered. Are their words in alignment with their actions? Huge. Okay, very, very, very important. Well, this is all for now. We have Guru Purnima coming this Friday, which we're planning to have lunch with our guru here, and the ashram is in our hearts as well as all else, and hoping for good things for the planet, for things to change, for the devotees on this path to make great leaps in progress, and those that are just doing the best they can to be honest, walking their journey in whatever way they are, that things go deeper and things begin to change. So, we'll be giving updates on how that that lunch goes. We're looking forward to that. And of course, we have a blood moon, so this is also something that it should be a very potent, I would imagine, energy, because like I say already, it can be felt here. It's like, okay, here we go, and it's all good. So, okay, may all have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in. Namaste. Bye-bye.